Hi everyone, my name is Amber and I'm here to hopefully teach you, how to use the Savvy Minerals makeup. I'm going to be showing you how to use the foundation, bronzer, blush, eyeliner, lip gloss, just in case you didn't know how to use lip gloss, and how to use one of the eyeshadows as a highlight. To learn how to use these products, keep on watching. Okay, so to start the look, I already prepped and primed my skin, washed my face, did my toner, moisturizer, primer, and then I did already go ahead and do my concealer. It's not Young Living, so I didn't want to showcase that. So you can use whichever kind you want. And I know some people use a lighter shade of the foundation for concealer. I just haven't tried that personally because I'm already the lightest shade. Okay, so here's what the foundation looks like. I am shade Warm number 1. And it comes in this little twist top. And what I do is just tap it into there, just like that. Now, if you want a lighter coverage, like if you're just running out somewhere and you want to do makeup in 5 minutes, I use just a little flat brush, a fluffy brush, tap it in there, just dust it all over my face, kind of like a light powder, and that works. It's not super full coverage, which I'm going to show you today, but it does get the job done. And yeah, so for a fuller coverage look, you can layer it as much as you want. I use just this little foundation brush, and I know Young Living makes awesome brushes, but I have yet to try those because I have a pretty big collection of brushes actually. So to start, I take the misting spray. This is an absolute must. I use it for the eyeliner and for the foundation. And all I do is just do 1, 2, spray it on there, and then dip it in the little container. And then start patting into my skin. The more layers you do, the fuller the coverage will be. So if you like a really full face, if you like to look plastic, there's nothing wrong with that. Just keep layering it on until you're comfortable with how it looks. I'm one of those people who is really sensitive to different foundations. Some of them make my skin break out, some of them make me really oily, some of them enhance any texture or lines that I have if they're too matte or too full coverage. And I have to tell you that I truly, truly love this makeup. It makes me look like I have smooth skin, and it doesn't enhance all of those things that I hate about it. Next, I do bronzer, and with this, it's the same thing as the foundation. I just tap a little bit into the lid. This is the shade Crowned All Over. It's the lighter of the 2 bronzer shades. I actually ordered the darker shade, and it was much, much, much too dark for my skin. Thankfully, they let me return it so that I could get one that actually worked for me. So I just tap just a little tiny bit. I mean, it really does not take much at all. Then I use a big fluffy bronzer brush. That is hard to say actually. And then just dip it in here, tap it off. I do top of my forehead. It's gonna help make my huge forehead look a little bit smaller, hopefully. It blends so nicely with the foundation. And I've actually used this with other foundation too, and it blends just as great. It does have a little bit of a shimmer to it, and I was really nervous about that first because when you think of bronzer, you think everything matte, but it actually gives the skin just a nice, healthy, natural looking glow, and it's really pretty. Next, I use it to lightly bronze my cheeks, like a little bit of a contour. Next is blush, and I use the shade I Do Believe You're Blushin'. And again, this product, you just have to use very little of it. I mean, I feel like this is gonna last me a really long time. And same thing as before, I just get a big blush brush, dip it into the lid, tap the excess, and swipe it over my cheekbones. The blush also has just a little bit of a shimmer to it. And again, I actually think it looks really beautiful when I was really nervous that it would look not good on me. Most people for eyebrows use the multitasker. I do not have that, so I'm gonna do my brows off camera with my brow pencil and I'll be right back. Okay, so brows are done. Next, I move on to eyeliner. It comes in a smaller one of the little pods and looks just like this. This is the Jet Black, is that correct? It's called Jet Setter, it was close. The multitasker is the brown version that you can use for eyebrows like I mentioned. Some people also use it for eyeliner if they don't want just a black eyeliner, but I like my eyeliner black. I use a very small brush and it's just a really fine tip. I'm not really sure how else you would describe it. Anyway, eyeliner brush. Next I'm going to dump just the tiniest amount into the lid, so just a little bit. Then I'm going to spray my brush. This first time I'm going to spray it like 5 times, and what this does is when I swirl it around in the lid, it's going to turn it into a liquid. So basically it's going to be a liquid eyeliner, so it's much easier to put on. There's no mess involved. If you don't get it wet enough, it's gonna do little like crumblies all over your face, and then all your hard work on your foundation is ruined. So wet your brush really good before you start your eyeliner. And then we're gonna start swirling it around. If it's not wet enough, spray it again. And then swirl it around in the lid. You'll know when it's good enough when it's a wet consistency. Okay, so it may be hard to tell on here, I'm not sure, but it's like a liquid. So now I can just paint it on my eye. I start from the inside, sweep a thin line across right on my lash line. So I start there. If you want just a straight line eyeliner, you can be done, and that's super easy. I like to do a winged liner. I'm kind of hooked on it, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I dip it and just swirl it around in that liquid that I created. It's not really good to pull your eye taut. I just do just the slightest bit just so I have a little more control of what I'm doing, but I don't want to like pull my eye because that's going to create wrinkles and that's what we don't want. So just holding myself steady, start right at the corner of my eye and do a really thin line just like that. Dip a little more if you need it. And now I'm going to go from, I don't know if you can see this really well, the top, and work and connect it right down there. And you have to make sure you make a really good eyeliner face look, because that's what beauty's all about, right? And then work to fill that in. Now I'm going to do the next eye. For mascara, Savvy Minerals does make a mascara. I did not get lucky enough to get my hands on it before it went out of stock, and I'm still waiting for it to come back before I can try it, so I'm going to use the mascara that I used off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so mascara is done. If you really want to be just a little bit extra, like I know I like to be, what you can do for highlight, like brow bone, inner corner, or right here, is, even though Savvy Minerals doesn't have a highlighter, I use one of the eyeshadows, and it's called Wanderlust. I really need to learn the names better. And how I use it, I get just a little tiny brush like this, just dip it in one of these little holes in here, tap it, and then run it right underneath the highest point on my eyebrow. And what this does is it just reflects the light and it helps to lift your face upward. Like I said, totally extra. So then for inner corner highlight, this is the inner corner of the eye. I just do a little tiny, just a little bit of a pop right in here. Not that my eyes need to look any bigger, but it helps the eyes to look bright and awake and bigger, and well, I'm extra, so. Now to do a highlight on the cheek, you can use any number of brushes. I use just a little brush like this that just gives me an easy swoop right here. To do this, I'm gonna dump it just like I have the other products, just a little tiny bit right in the lid. Dip my brush in here, tap off the excess, and just lightly go right on the top of my cheekbone and then bring it right up on my temple. And I don't know if you can see that, but it picks up the light and just gives a really healthy looking glow to the skin. I'm gonna go right down the center of my nose. Just very lightly do the end of my nose. And my Cupid's bow. So after all of that, the final step is something on the lips. I like a nude lip most of the time. I don't like a heavy looking color. Totally personal preference. So I use the Nude Color lip gloss. And this color is called Embrace. And that is it for this tutorial. I hope you guys learned something, at least learned how to use the Savvy Minerals products. If you have any questions at all, leave them below or comment on the post on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.